Welcome everybody to another awesome episode of Wine, Hops and Road Stops, shot here on location at the beer stop in West Hazleton. I'm with my co-host Alan. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
It is another beautiful day out in northeastern Pennsylvania in October.
Get your bathing suits on.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, being the nice crisp fall day that it is, we're going to do, as you said, the Battle of the Oktoberfest beers. We're going to try the two most popular German Oktoberfest beers and see how the American ones stack up.
I'm pretty interested in that because that's not really a style I drink a lot of. I like it, just don't really drink a lot of it. So I'm pretty excited about getting into seeing how the American side stacks up against the traditional German side.
And in Germany, it's an extremely popular style to the point that they actually produce it all year round. So when you're in Germany, you get Oktoberfest beer 365 days a year. Just over here, that it only comes, once a year.
But first, let's talk a little bit about some craft beer news. Hopsters is coming to Philadelphia. Boston-based brew-it-yourself bar and restaurant Hopsters has once again turned to equity crowdfunding in an effort to help finance a planned $4 million expansion into the Philadelphia market. Now, Hopsters is a brewery, restaurant, and most interesting, it's a place where you can brew your own craft beer. So hopefully someday soon, we can all take a trip to Philly and brew our own beer at the brew pub. The Wine, Hops, and Road Stops beer. What do you think about that?
Hey, I keep saying, there's 38,000 different beers in the world. I haven't drank all of them yet. So until I do, I don't know if I want to start making my own beer yet.
Well,
so another 5-6 years, I'll have tried them all, then we'll start.
Well, there you go. Now, I've made my own beer a few times. A lot of times it's good, sometimes it's not so good. This is pretty neat. I like the idea. I don't know how it would work, but going down to Philly to make your own beer, I'll try it if it happens.
I think it's probably a good setup because you're probably going to go in there, pick out the things that you want to put in the beer, and then they'll actually do the work for you. So it kind of takes the whole, what am I supposed to do, out of the equation. So I would expect that it would come out fairly accurate.
Next up, we have a viewer question. This came from our Facebook page, and it's about salting your beer. I believe some of my older relatives used to do this way back when. Why do people salt their beer? Now, there's a few reasons. You gave me one before. What was that?
Technically, if your beer is slightly flat now, as we were saying, it more like your Coors Lights, Miller Lights, Bud Lights, things like that nature. If you put a little bit of salt in it, the salt has some type of chemical reaction with the beer that it will actually recarbonate your beer slightly and for a short time.
So that's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, it won't bring it back to a brand new beer, but at least it won't be a flat, stale beer.
That's one of the reasons. Another reason I found was some people just like the taste. Yeah. It enhances the flavor of the beer. Just like you salt your food, you salt your beer. Most people probably do it either for taste or to recarbonate their beer.
Yes.
Now when we come back, we're going to check out some of these beers, and our road stop today is the Walpole Beck Brewing Company. That was a great trip we took. If you like what you see here, facebook.com/Wine Hops and Road Stops is our Facebook page. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Wine Hops and Road Stops on location right here at the beer stop. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Wine, Hops, and Road Stops, shot on location here at the beer stop. If you like what you see and want to talk to us about anything you see on the show, facebook.com/Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. That's our Facebook page. Okay. You had an instance, we won't go really into much detail, but someone poured a beer wrong for you. Yes. And I've had some really bad beers poured for me. So, we're going to show you guys right now how to pour a proper beer.
Yes.
Alan will show you.
Yes. Now, everybody always kind of has a difference of opinion whether if they want a lot of foam on their beer or not a lot of foam. Basically, the foam, if you think about it, is beer that has already been shaken up and put aside. So if your whole beer is all foam, when it actually settles, it'll still be beer, but it's just going to be flat. So I was at a nice restaurant, and they should have known better, won't say who. They actually poured the whole beer upside down. They gave me a half a mug of foam, and in the bottle was upside down, so it was the other half of foam. I actually sent it back. Woman was very nice and apologetic about it, so that was nice.
So hopefully she's watching.
So hopefully, they're watching. Everybody has a difference of opinion on how much foam they like on their beer. I personally like fresh beer, so I don't want that much. But you always want to tilt your glass. Some say 45-degree angles or just about till it's ready to spill out. Take your time pouring. It's not a race. Just pour it in nice and slow, and as it goes down, you can see, if you want, you can get no foam in the beer whatsoever. And then if you want a little at the end, just tap it with a little bit of a splash, which will give it a little bit of carbonation at the top. But again, it's just a personal preference, but you never should get a lot of foam out of a beer or out of a beer on tap, because at that point, really, you're just drinking stale beer, basically.
Uncarbonated or not really as carbonated beer, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are exceptions to the rule.
Always.
Like nitro beers are a little different. You have
Yes.
to pour them aggressively.
Yeah, that's because the nitro beers actually have no carbonation in the beer itself. There's typically a little pellet filled with carbonation. And until you open up the beer and the air hits it, the carbonation then is infused in the beer. And that's why they want you to turn it upside down.
And that's the nitrogen.
So that way the nitrogen can actually flow through the entire beer rather than just the part of it.
Best way to pour your beer. Hold your glass 45 degrees, pour the beer midpoint of the glass, tilt the glass upright as you reach the halfway point, and you finish pouring with about a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches ahead on the top of your beer. And there you go.
I'm more of the 1/2 inch and less. So I actually pour the entire beer on its side.
Next thing we got is the Oktoberfest beers.
Yes. So we have the top two beers from Germany, Hackersorn and Paulaner, which are the world-class Oktoberfest beers. And we're going to see we'll sample both of those, go through the rest of the American styles, and kind of see how they measure up.
All right, let's go.
So we'll start with the Hackersorn, which is a little bit lighter on the Oktoberfest scale.
Okay, there's not a lot of nose to this.
No, and again, Oktoberfest scales are meant to be party beers. You're meant to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning and drink this until about midnight.
This is pretty light.
Correct, yes. Most of them tend to be in the lighter arena. This, again, it's supposed to be easy drinking and be able to drink it all day long. But it's just a nice, easy drinking. Next one is the Paulaner, which is a little bit, you can even see a little bit darker color, but it's still in that amber tones.
So again, there's not going to be a lot of...
You're not getting a lot of hops in it, so it's mostly wheat and barley in these beers.
Yes, this is strange to me. Not a lot of hops at all. So this is like...
No, this is your easy
foreign.
drinking. Now, I've always said this is my personal favorite, the Paulaner, of all the Oktoberfest. So we'll see if that continues.
I can see why. That's really good. It's a nice taste to it.
It's a nice taste to it, but yet it's easy drinking. There's no bitterness.
No.
No bitterness. So it goes down nice and smooth. All right, the next one we have is the Flying Fish Oktoberfish.
Okay, now we're getting into the
Now we're going to get into the American styles. And typically the American styles, no matter what it is, because it's America, we throw extra hops in it. So we'll see it's already kind of as a darker shade than the other two.
Yep. Well, there's not a lot of
No.
a lot of nose to it.
No. Little bit heavier than the other one, but again, still definitely in that Oktoberfest style.
These are going to be hot more than the German ones.
Yes, but usually, again, there's respecting the style, and that's another easy drinking beer. All right, the next one is the Duck Rabbit Marzen. Duck Rabbit or Rabbit Duck. So kind of when you look at the sign, depending it's a left brain, right brain thing, you either see a duck or a rabbit.
Oh, okay.
So we'll probably get a close up of the
label here. Okay. Oh, I get it now. All right, now that makes more sense.
Are you a duck or a
rabbit?
rabbit?
I see the duck.
Okay.
Saw the duck first. Now I see the rabbit. Now I can't see anything but the rabbit. Okay, so this is a Marzen?
Marzen, which is another word of just saying amber / October, which is mostly what the Oktoberfest are.
Okay, so it's a slightly different style, but still considered an Oktoberfest
It's still within
beer.
that family of Oktoberfest beers. Again, because in America, we only sell Oktoberfest for such a short period of time, the beer companies are responding by, instead of calling it an Oktoberfest, they call it a Marzen, so that way, if it's November, and it's still available for sale, somebody will buy it.
Why not? Yeah, right. You're not locked into last week of September, first week of October
Correct,
kind of thing. This is good.
It's another nice, that's actually a little bit fuller on the mouth, but again, no bitterness to it whatsoever. No, it is a nice
Now,
one.
have you ever been to an Oktoberfest, a real one?
Yes, I have. Yes, I was over in Germany, over in Munich,
Wow, I'm quite envious now.
at the Hopper House, and I'll give you a little hint. There's 2 floors of the Hopper House. The one where we're and everybody else is downstairs. Upstairs is celebrities and royalty and things like that. Watch the doorman. Every now and then something will happen, a fight in the bar or whatever, and everybody rushes over and the door is open. Run as fast as you can and get up there. When you get up there, everybody just assumes because you're there, you're famous.
Oh, cool.
And it works out really well for you.
And you did that? Did you do that?
Yeah.
And what did you mean famous?
Actually, like a whole bunch of diplomat guys from Germany were there. They have their own little beers with their own name engraved
Oh,
on
okay,
all
well,
their
that's
on their
I
steins.
can get behind that.
Yeah.
So what we got next?
Next is the Atwater Brewery Blocktoberfest.
And that says that's some kind of lager?
Yes.
Marzen style lager.
Yep. Yep.
So you're still keeping the Oktoberfest.
But this one
Label.
definitely has a different nose on it
Yeah.
as well. You can tell it's a different type of a beer.
Tastes more like a lager to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's more nose to it than there is flavor.
Yeah. Someone that's really into lager,
Yeah.
like Yingling Lager, which is what we call lager around here. We call Yingling Lager in northeastern Pennsylvania. Someone that likes that would like this.
Yes, it's a very similar style beer. All right, next we have stouts from Pennsylvania. They're Oktoberfest.
That's pretty good.
That's probably the lightest of all the ones that
Yeah.
we tried.
Yeah, this could go down pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah. This is almost like the swilling beer of Oktoberfest.
None of these beers have bite. None of these beers are my usual go-to beers.
Right.
But they're all really good. I like this style because it's kind of subtle. It's a nice, refreshing drink.
And again, Oktoberfest is meant to be an all-day party, and you can't drink your double IPAs for a 12-hour shift.
Well, you can't.
No, I can't.
I can't either. I try.
At 9, 10, 11% alcohol, by your fifth one.
Look, we all saw the Beer Fest video from last episode.
And then the last one is another one of my old favorites, the Sam Adams.
In the Sam Adams mug. Stein, right?
Yep.
Stein?
Fine, yep.
Okay.
They do a really nice job with their Oktoberfest.
This
They
has the
really
most
do.
taste.
Yeah.
Out of all of them we tried, this one, Sam Adams, there you go, which is usually, for me, always like a run-of-the-mill kind of middle-of-the-road beer. This has the most taste.
Yeah, even like when you go back and forth between the two,
Yeah, I'll compare them.
I'll stack up the Sam Adams Oktoberfest over the Hacker-Pser or the Polliner. The Polliner I always said is my favorite, but the Sam Adams one definitely is comparable. And definitely stacks up ahead of the other brands.
If I had to pick American or German, I don't know. They're all
Well, it's the same style.
Yeah.
And actually, the Americans a lot of times, like I said, usually like to put extra hops in no matter what the style is. They've kind of refrained on the Oktoberfest end of it. And they've kept it nice. They've respected the style, and they are true Oktoberfest beers. So no matter which one you get, I think you're going to enjoy.
So usually when the American breweries take a European style, they'll usually hop it up more.
Yes, absolutely. I look at a lot of the London Pride Pale Ale, and then compare it to like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It's just, it's almost like the European IPAs are kind of like the American Pale Ales.
But with this, we're sticking more of what is usually found at the Oktoberfest in Germany.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
And the Hofbrauhaus.
Yep.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're getting on the road. We're going up to Lake Wallenpaupack to the Wallenpaupack Brewing Company, so don't go away. There's more to come on Wine Hops and Road Stops. Our road stop today is Wallenpaupack Brewing Company, and I'm with the owner, Becky Ryman. Becky, tell me a little bit about your company here.
We've been here for a year now. We started this brewery because we have a house in the area, and our cousin actually started a brewery down in the state of Florida called Marker 48. It's in Hernando County. 7-barrel brewing system, did it in his area. We kind of saw what it did, and being up here at the lake, there's a lot of tourists, a lot of people looking for things to do, and Northeast PA was definitely looking for some good quality production craft beer. So we saw those needs. We, as home brewers, my brother and I, decided, this was a little bit of a big project for us to take on ourselves, to be brewing all this beer. And we were fortunate enough to hire CJ Penzone, who came to us from Trogs, and also Logan Ackerley, who came to us from Saratoga Brewing in New York. It's definitely a passion project, the brewery. It's definitely something that you go into every day and you walk in and you look around and you say, all right, let's do this. This is awesome. Like, I love this. I love the beer. I love the people. I love the area. I love all the good positive vibes we're getting. And that's really what keeps you going, because it does become a 7-day-a-week job. Definitely some early mornings and definitely some late nights. We've gotten tremendous feedback from our customers. You know, we do things a little bit differently. We're a counter service brew pub, what we like to call brewery style. So you come in, you kind of create your own experience. It's pretty casual. Some people do just come in generally for flights and to taste the beers, have a drink. If you're here for the dining experience, we have that as well. That's been great. And then outside of the house, we've had huge reception on our beer. You know, people are really getting into it. They're asking for it at their local distributors, their local bars. So we've made a good name for ourselves.
You have a pretty big menu for a brew pub, because a lot of times brew pubs will have like 2 or 3 things on their menu. It's almost like an afterthought. Not here.
No, yeah, and as much as my brother and I love beer, we also love food. We're big foodies, and we try to keep it interesting, try to keep it fresh, rotate the menu a little bit, do some specials, and that was something really important to us from day one. Our kitchen cranks out amazing food. So just as much passion as we're putting into our beer, we're also putting into our food, which has really brought everything together. People come in, they get this complete experience, which is awesome. So we have everything from shareable appetizers all the way up to meals. We do some of our specialties are poutine. We do a fantastic version of poutine. We do some burgers, fancy grilled cheese. We offer some salads. We have vegan options, vegetarian options as well. Yep, so if you're looking to come in and snack and have a few beers, we've got that to offer, but it's also a place where you can come and enjoy a full meal.
Right now I'm with Logan. He's one of the brewers here. And Logan, tell me, let's start off with your day. How does your day start when you come in here to make all these fantastic beers?
So it all depends on the day. Some days we get right into brewing. We'll come in, we prep the night before, we set all our grain bags out, get them ready to mill in the morning. Then we'll go through our mash and get started with the brew. So we have a 20-barrel, 3-vessel brew house. It's a monster. Like we've done, you know, really big beer, we've done, you know, this light beer, we've done like everything in between, and it handles it, you know, like a champ. Summer was insane. We were brewing, you know, 3 times a week at least, and you know, just cranking out beers.
Tell me about the beers that are in front of us.
So in front of us we have our Paw Pack Cream Ale, which is like our flagship. It's a lighter beer, 4.5%, so it's super drinkable, not very hoppy. It's kind of like you know, almost a gateway beer, I guess. A lot of people that don't drink a lot of craft beer, they'll come in, hey, what do you have like this? And you know, it's usually a lighter style. This is what we get.
Right, because you're going to get a lot of people that are going to come in here and say, oh, I don't drink that, I don't drink that.
Yep.
Because they're thinking still like it was 25 years ago. There's only these heavy beers for these craft beer lovers. But there's all kinds of styles, and this is one of them.
Absolutely.
This is a nice light beer for anyone that likes like the Bud Miller Coors kind of thing.
It's a very simple grain build, not a lot of hops. You know, it just goes down really smooth.
So there you go. Nice session beer you could have.
That's
gateway into the craft beers. Perfect.
Absolutely. And then we also have our first anniversary ale, which we just came out with.
This is not a gateway beer.
No, this is definitely not a gateway beer. Back in November of last year, we brewed a Belgian strong ale, and we threw it in some rum barrels. So it aged 9 months in rum barrels. So it's about 10% alcohol, which is, you know, very different than the 4.5%. Definitely not a crushable beer, but it's a really cool experience for, you know, a lot of people. Again, you know, people don't realize that craft beer can be this either. It's like on the other side of the spectrum. So you get a lot of notes of, you know, oak and vanilla, a little bit of spice.
The rum makes it nice and smooth. These barrel-aged beers that I've been seeing being all the rage, a lot of times it's bourbon barrels, so they got that bourbon bite at the end. This was made in rum barrels.
Yep.
So you got that nice smooth rum at the end there.
I love big beers, big barrel-aged beers. I love it. So I was all for, like, when we started talking about barrels, I was like, we got to do something big.
This is a show-off beer. You guys got to be proud of this.
We are very happy with it, especially for our first barrel release. You know, for our anniversary ale.
Yeah.
Like, it just all came together really well. So we're thrilled with this beer.
Something special about the water here, I was told. Tell me about the water.
So we are using Pocono water. We We're not using reverse osmosis right now or anything. We just have a well. It's not city water. We just pull that in and then we adjust with salts if we need to, which we rarely need to. So the water here has been fantastic especially for the styles that we're brewing. A lot of the lighter beers, the lagers, like it's been really nice for those kind of styles. So water is a huge part of it, and you know, a lot of people don't realize that, how much of a difference it can actually make. So we're very lucky to have such good quality water.
If you could pick one, I know it's like picking your favorite child, but what's your favorite beer here?
This anniversary beer I really like because I love the big beers, but I'm drinking a lot of the Indian Summer IPA. It's our fall IPA. It's more kind of West Coast. It's not the newer, juicy East Coast beers, but it's just so drinkable. It's crisp and clean.
It's a nice representation of the style, I'd have to say, yeah.
That's probably my favorite right now.
So they have great beer, they have great food, and all year long, they have great events.
We do offer different events outside, and then the area does a great job of doing their own festivals that we've been able to be a part of. So Wally Lake Fest is huge up here. That's a really fun weekend. We did a special beer for them. So they try to keep it fun and interesting for the area throughout the year as well.
They're open Monday and Thursday, noon until 9, Friday and Saturday, noon until 10, Sunday, 10 a.m. till 8 p.m.
Come check us out. We have a great spot here, lots of great beer. We have something for everyone. We do everything from a cream ale all the way to dark beer. We're just starting to release our barrel-aged beer. Lots of great IPAs, lots of great food, and something I like to tell everyone is we're just getting started. We're just starting to write our story. We just turned 1 year old, so there's a lot more great things you're gonna see from us.
So, if you make your trip just for this, it's a trip worth taking. The Wald Paulpack Brewing Company. That's our road stop for this episode. Welcome back to the last segment of Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. If you like what you see, Facebook.com/Wine, Hops, and Road Stops is how you get in touch with us. Send us your questions, your comments, your concerns, what beers you want us to try. Alan, what do we got new in the store this week?
Well, it is Oktoberfest, so we have about 20 different Oktoberfest beers. They're all really nice drinking, even the ones that aren't here. It tends to be a really nice, easy drinking style to try. It's also football season, so our good friends over at Weyerbacher, who are Eagles fans, come out every year with the Dallas Sucks Pale Ale.
My brother Jude will like this. He's a huge Eagles fan.
I'm actually a Cowboy fan, but I still I'm going to try a Dallas Sucks beer.
And Weyerbacher has good beer.
Yes, Weyerbacher does make great beers.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Thanks for watching. And remember, life's too short to have a bad beer. Drink an Oktoberfest beer. It's Oktoberfest time. So all I gotta say is,
Prost.
Prost. See you next time. Just roughly. All right.
So we need to talk slower.
Nah. Got a lot of stuff to put in here. 3, 2.
Yeah, but really they're all good. Also being football season, our local brewery, Weinstefaner.
Weyerbacher?
Weyerbacher, okay.
You want to start
Yeah.
over? Okay. It's Weyerbacher, isn't it?
Yeah, Weyerbacher, yeah.
Weyerbacher.
Yep.
They're German too.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the last segment of Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. Shot on location. Welcome back to the last